Hi guys, welcome back to Cjsketokitchen. I usually do 2 savory and 2 sweet recipes a month, but I thought I would mix it up a little bit and make a second sweet recipe in a row because I really wanted to try this. And it is cookie baking weather here in the Pacific Northwest, so I'm going to be making a keto skillet chocolate chip cookie. So come along with me and let's get started. Recipes for this. In fact, a lot of restaurants serve this as a dessert. And in fact, CJ and I's first traditional date was at a local restaurant that serves what they call a Pizookie, which is a cookie served in a skillet. And I wanted to do something that was similar, only in larger form. And there are lots of recipes out there. In fact, I referenced a Martha Stewart recipe. So it is basically one big cookie in a cast iron skillet. And if you don't have a cast iron skillet, you can of course use a baking dish. But that's what we're going to be doing tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. So you're going to need to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Because this is a skillet chocolate chip cookie, I am indeed going to be using a cast iron skillet. This one is 10 inches, and I have liberally greased it with butter. If you don't have a cast iron skillet, you really need to get yourself one because you will fall in love. But if you don't have one right now, you could use something of comparable size to this, such as a pie pan or a baking dish, something that is 8 by 8 or 9 by 9, so similar in size so that you have a similar cooking time for our skillet cookie. You're also going to need a medium-sized bowl or something to mix up your cookie dough in. And I'm going to be using my hand mixer, but you would not have to have a hand mixer for this. You could just simply do it with a large spoon if you were so inclined, but I'm just going to go ahead and use my hand mixer because I have it out. So the first thing that goes into our bowl is going to be melted butter, and we need 3/4 of a cup. So that is a stick and a half in the United States. It's 170 grams if you're using metric, and it needs to be melted or very, very soft. And we are going to be creaming, which is putting our butters and our sugars together first. So we're going to need sweetener. And I am going to be using a brown sugar alternative here, Sucrin Gold. And I want 2/3 of a cup. So there's 1/3 and 2/3. And I'm just going to lightly combine this. The next ingredient that I'm going to add is vanilla extract. And I have been using up my vanilla powder just because I have it and I would like to use it up. So I have just bloomed it in a little bit of water. And it's about, I would say 2 teaspoons equivalent of vanilla extract. You're also going to need 2 large eggs. I have let mine sit out to get room temperature. I just like using room temperature eggs. So we're just going to combine these well. So in a separate bowl, we are going to start combining our dry ingredients, and then we will add it into our wet ingredients. So the first thing that we need is almond flour, and I need 3 cups. You also need a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. You also need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and I'm just using pink Himalayan. I'm just going to take a fork and combine these so that all of our leavening gets into our flour. Okay, we are going to slowly start adding our dry mixture into our moist mixture. I'm going to do half at a time. Now the other half. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that I got all of my ingredients off the bottom of my bowl with my spatula. And as I said before, you could just totally do this with a spatula. You wouldn't have to use your hand mixer if you didn't want to. So our last ingredient is going to be chocolate chips. I'm using Lily's this time, and I'm going to use the milk chocolate style. You could use dark, you could use semi-sweet. I've also seen white chips. Lily's is now making flavored chips. We found chocolate mint, butterscotch, salted caramel. You just kind of have to look. Also some grocery store brands. I know at my Walmart they're making one called Bake Believe that is white chocolate chips. So we really are starting to find some wonderful no sugar options for baking chips. But today I'm going to be using the milk chocolate, and I want 5 ounces. I'm just going to add these in so that our chocolate chips are well incorporated into our cookie dough. Okay, so there is our yummy cookie dough. Now going to take the buttered skillet, and once again mine is 10 inches. And I'm going to put the cookie dough in, and I'm going to smooth it around as evenly as I can. Okay, so we are going to put our skillet into the oven, and I'm going to check it at 20 minutes. You can cook it farther than the 20 minutes, depending on how you like your cookie. Generally, this kind of cookie is served just slightly underdone, so it has the ooey gooey in the center. But of course, if that's not what you prefer, you can bake it a little bit longer. But I'm going to start for 20 minutes in my oven at 350 degrees. Okay, there it is. We're gonna let it cool for a little bit, and then we'll cut it into some pieces and let CJ have a taste. It's time for some keto chocolate chip skillet cookie.
Is that what we're calling this?
Yep. There's chocolate. You can see those big yummy chocolate chips. Like a big old deep dish cookie. Okay. Tell us what you think.
Yep. Yeah. It's real good. I think we might let it get too cool. But of course we're gonna just heat it up.
Yes, that's true.
So, no, it's really good. And you're right about I guess it not being...
You want it a little, you don't want it too hard because you want that slightly gooiness, because that's the whole point.
Yeah, so you got that in there. The gooiness, and actually it's real good.
Good.
So, good job. I think you pulled it off.
Thanks.
I guess we can't talk about where we used to go, but that's okay. We don't need to give them any...
Don't go get carb Pizookies. Make this instead.
Well, that could be a trademark for all we know.
No, it's not.
The Pizookie name?
When I was doing research on this particular idea, there's multiple restaurants in different parts of the United States that do Pizookie. Pizookie is not like a trademark name. It's just kind of what they call the dessert. So,
how do you spell that?
It's Pizookies, I think.
I think you just made that up. It's good.
That could be totally possible. Thanks for joining us tonight, you guys. We hope that you will help yourself to one giant ooey gooey cookie. We are definitely very excited about it. We hope that you will consider subscribing and come back for more recipes. I upload twice a week, and we have keto conversations, and those are on Wednesdays, and that's where we get together and talk about different ketogenic topics. Sometimes it's keto food unboxings, sometimes we're doing grocery hauls or what we eat on this lifestyle. And then on Sunday is when our recipes go up. So definitely hit the bell so you know when that happens. We are also on social media. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest, and there we post teaser photos. Other people who are making our recipes also post their photos there, so definitely check it out. If you need any information for this particular recipe, that can always be found on our blog, and that is Cjsketokitchen.com. And there we have all the ingredients, the macros, tips and tricks that I learned while making this recipe, and also CJ's taste test follow-up. So definitely head over there. We hope that you will come back and see us again, and until that time, be well. Bye.